It's here first from IPR News. I'm Megan McKinney. The midterms are getting closer. President Trump has officially endorsed Republican candidate for governor Zach Lahn, and Pete Buttigieg was in Iowa yesterday to rally with Iowa Democratic candidates. It's Monday, July 13th. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says Iowa Democrats need to welcome people from outside the party before the November election. Buttigieg, the winner of the 2020 Iowa Democratic caucuses, was in Altoona last night to endorse gubernatorial candidate Rob Sand and other Democrats ahead of the midterms. Buttigieg says Democrats need to offer a vision of systematic reforms, not a return to the status quo. He says Midwesterners are well positioned to see the day-to-day impacts of politics and what needs to change.
What I felt then, what I feel now, and what I believe we all feel in our bones is why, in a few short months, come Election Day, Democratic victories in Iowa will defy assumptions around the country and challenge the rest of the country to follow your lead.
Buttigieg has made a series of appearances around the country in support of Democratic candidates. His stop in Altoona also prompted speculation of a presidential run in 2028. Republican candidate for governor Zach Lahn says he looks forward to having President Trump campaign for him in Iowa. Trump endorsed Lahn on Friday, calling him an America First patriot and an effective voice for Iowa agriculture. Lahn celebrated a few hours later with Republicans at a party fundraiser in Des Moines.
Donald Trump has won Iowa a number of times, and I look forward to working with him to win again. And I think, the people of Iowa, the Republican Party has been very supportive of him, and he brings a lot of energy when he comes to the state. So we look forward to having him here.
Trump first endorsed Republican Congressman Randy Feenstra 4 days before the June primary, but about a week later, Trump said he'd been misinformed and said the other person in the race, Lahn, was more Trump than Feenstra. The Iowa GOP has held a series of legacy events to honor Governor Kim Reynolds, who is not running for re-election. The events have also served as fundraisers for the party. Bolster and Selzer and the Des Moines Register are asking a district court judge to dismiss a lawsuit from President Donald Trump. The lawsuit stems from a poll published before the 2024 presidential election. IPR's Isabella Liu has more from Friday's court hearing.
Attorneys for Selzer and the Register say Trump's fraudulent news claims are barred by the First Amendment and the state constitution. Trump filed a lawsuit in 2024 against Selzer, the Register, and its parent company. He claims a poll showing Kamala Harris leading over Trump in Iowa was a form of consumer fraud. Robert Kornrevier is an attorney for Selzer.
There's an old saying that everything looks like a conspiracy to those who don't know how anything works. And that sums up this case in a nutshell.
Trump's attorney says the lawsuit meets the legal threshold to move forward. He says the suit should advance so they can look into the details of the poll and figure out what legal standard it would violate. The judge says he'll issue a decision in several weeks. I'm Isabella Liu, IPR News.
A nonprofit that helps previously incarcerated men is moving to Des Moines. Harvest Academy in Indianola helps men overcome challenges like homelessness and substance use disorders. Now it's relocating to a new campus in Des Moines that will allow them to expand their services. State data shows Iowa would need to build 3 new prisons to meet capacity demands. Derek Johnson with Harvest Academy says their goal is to keep participants out of jail.
We know that model and that system doesn't work. People don't leave prison better humans and better individuals, right? So our goal is hey, send them to Harvest Academy. Let us take them for a little bit. Let us try and help them.
Johnson says the new location will allow them to help 50 people at a time. The campus will have more residential housing, a community center, and workforce training. It's here first from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. The number of people living with dementia is expected to surge in the coming decades. One Midwest couple is on a mission to persuade lawmakers their support is critical to early detection and intervention. Going to hear more about their effort in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's here first from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. As the U.S. population ages, the number of people with dementia is expected to climb in the coming decades. More than 62,000 Iowans live with Alzheimer's disease, while even more people are unpaid caregivers. As the Midwest Newsroom's Luke Nozica reports, a Midwestern couple is on a mission to get government support for early detection and intervention.
Sandy and Bobby Marshall decided to get a baseline cognitive assessment after her father died of Lewy body dementia in 2014. It's a kind of dementia that became better known after the death of actor and comedian Robin Williams. Both Marshalls previously worked in the medical field and thought they might as well get screened. She was 50, he was 55.
That way, in 10 years, we'll do another test and see where we are. And for the first time in our married life, I did better on a test than Bobby did. Yeah. Bobby's very smart. And I passed it and he didn't.
The couple, who lived in Florida at the time, learned Bobby had early onset and atypical dementia. They went home that day and launched into research, determined to get ahead of the disease. Bobby made a plan with a neurologist and a nutritionist.
We were seeing what was going on around the world in different countries and how they treated it, and decided that we were going to attack it head on and get out in front of it and do the best that we can.
Broadly, dementia is an umbrella term for a decline in cognitive abilities severe enough to interfere with daily life. Its most common form is Alzheimer's disease. Bobby embodies the importance of early detection and intervention. When he was diagnosed, doctors said he had just 5 to 8 years to live. That was more than 11 years ago.
The earlier you get diagnosed, the better you are. I'm proof of that. 11 years in, and I'm doing pretty good.
Bobby is among the millions of Americans living with dementia. Across Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska, more than 270,000 people ages 65 and older live with the disease. But that number does not include Bobby and others who are younger than 65. The number of people with dementia and the nearly 500,000 unpaid caregivers across those states is expected to climb in the coming decades as the U.S. population ages.
I would love for you to be the first survivor.
Sandy and Bobby now live in Poplar Bluff in southeast Missouri, which Bobby described as a medical desert with few resources. At first, the couple continued to travel to Bobby's medical appointments in Florida. Eventually, they got off a more than year-long waitlist to see a specialist in St. Louis. Now the Marshalls drive nearly 3 hours from their home to see Bobby's doctors at Washington University in St. Louis. David Olson is the Alzheimer's Association's Midwest and Central Plains Government Relations Director. He called government buy-in critical to supporting people with dementia and said each state is making progress in its own way. Last year, for example, Nebraska passed insurance coverage for biomarker testing to help with early detection.
This is a disease that impacts everyone, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Black, white, Hispanic, right? This is impacting somebody in your community.
Advocates have also pushed for states to create dementia service coordinators, a position that exists in Washington, D.C., and 32 states, including Illinois, Kansas, and Nebraska. Establishing one is part of a healthcare bill on the governor's desk in Missouri. Iowa does not have one. Proponents say statewide coordinators connect families with resources, especially in rural areas.
And so having a position, having an individual that can cross agency lines can make those connections and really provide then a coordinated state strategy to respond and best provide services for people living with the disease in all stages, as well as their caregivers.
Supporters say statewide coordinators also help with early detection, which has been critical for people like Bobby Marshall. More than a decade after his diagnosis, Bobby still golfs with his friends. I'm Luke Nozica, the Midwest Newsroom.
This story comes from the Midwest Newsroom. It's a collaboration including NPR, IPR News, and member stations in Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. It's also a member of the Trust Project. I'm Megan McKenney. Thanks for listening to Hear First from IPR today. How was your weekend? It got warm, didn't it? It's going to be a pretty hot week in Iowa this week. Stay cool. Have a great Monday. Talk tomorrow.